the chance. And I'm like, I could take the chance. I'm not saying I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, all it takes is for me to not have something that's needed for them to accept me, and they already heard the pitch to my idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say I don't have a script for anything, but I have the concept.
Right.
Once I don't have that script, they're like, oh, well, you don't have the script, so that means you're not done with the idea. Go back and try to refurbish it, or whatever the case is, right? And usually even patents, some patents, and I know usually it's for when you invent like stuff, but I looked into it at some point, and it was said something about how like there's a certain time period too. So like if you patent something, you have like, I don't know, like 90 days to fucking actually make it come up before somebody else can buy that patent and keep it for themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So imagine coming up with an idea and working your ass off to do it, and then somebody else coming in with like waiting till the timeline's up just to take it from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even I got. Well, I'll tell you the next story after.
Yes, don't worry about it. Yeah. See, it's good stuff to learn, folks. Good stuff to learn. Keep that in mind, man. You know, there's some things you know that just can't be said in other places. Just don't. Save it for later, so that way no one steals it. Yeah. I said on record, folks. All right. Next question. Question 10, I believe. If you were to make a book about a specific era of your life, what would it be and why?
Specific era. To be honest, I have no clue. I've been through a lot. Like, not to put it out there. Like, I don't mind. Like, I like telling people my life stories because people learn from it. You know what I mean? But to be honest, like I feel like if I was gonna put any kind of era into effect, it would have to be like high school to now.
Okay, wow.
And that's because like before high school, I went through a shit ton of stuff, especially with my parents and everything. But all of that stuff was kind of like out of my control,
right,
to some extent. You know what I mean? And then like right around high school, I want to say like sophomore, junior year, that's when I started like. Not realizing, but I started being like, you know, like, fuck what everybody else says. I'm going to do what I want and need to do for myself.
Right.
And that's when I started, like, actually, like, actively trying to control my life and doing stuff the way I need to do them. And regardless of whoever said anything or did anything. And that led me from there to graduating high school on my own, going into the military, going through what I went through in the military, and then even now. And, you know what I mean? I'm about to move to California, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And within a 2-year span and every 2-year gap, something crazy has happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you know, and it's all my doing. It's all my decision making. So I would rather, you know, talk about that because it's my choice.
Nice. That's interesting. All right. Next question is, in terms of you as a person, what do you feel best represents you? Do you feel your art represents you best, your writing, or something else? Like, what specifically in terms of your arts or your preferences of the arts you feel that best represents you completely?
In retrospect to art, what represents me would be, I guess, like my creativity on how I develop ideas for certain things. I wouldn't say like I don't feel like I have like a specific style. You know what I mean? Like I envy a lot of artists because they have like a specific style that they can do all the time, and it's like I wish I could develop the whole DC roster in my own like style. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not that I don't have the creativity. It's just, you know, putting the creativity from my brain and putting it out on paper is not always the same thing. I work better with reference because that's how I taught myself.
Right.
But like ideas, if I could think of like artwork and how to represent artwork in a specific way, I think, you know, my ideas speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Now, if they're executed the same way, that's a completely different story.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? Like, I would like to think that I have some good, unique ideas that thinks outside the box that people would just be like, I didn't even think about doing that. All right, cool.
Yeah. All right, cool. And next question, question 12. What fictional character or characters do you feel you relate to most?
Fictional character I relate to most?
In anything.
In any medium? that I relate to the most? That's another hard one. That's a really good question, actually. You know, I never really thought about it, and I mean, that's a really hard question.
I know. I thought about it so many times. I used to ask people that question all the time since middle school. I used to be like, what character do I remind you of? Or like, what characters, remind me of you or something or whatever. And it was always interesting because you'd always be interested in what the results might be and what people think. But then when you start thinking about like who you think about as a character and the way you compare, like the way your way of thinking is similar to that kind of character.
But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to think of like what character would be kind of like in my mindset of thinking, and that's really hard because usually when you see characters, they're usually one side of the fence or the other. They're either light or dark, and they always have some justification. And usually even villains, like I love villains who have a good justification. You know, when you see a villain and you're like, you make sense. I agree with you, but you know he's a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know it's not okay to do genocide, but what you're genociding for, it makes sense verbally. Right?
Yeah.
But man, that's a hard question. If maybe you can answer. It's just I feel like I'm kind of in the middle between like Batman versus Superman, Batman. And kind of like Peter Parker from the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Oh, the movie series, right?
No, the cartoon, the 90s.
Oh, the 90s part. Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
that. Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because that
best version.
He's the best version, but also like his Peter Parker has had so much loss, and he's been through so much struggle, and even struggle that don't even make sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think at one point in the series, Mary Jane falls through one of the
portals.
The portals because of the Portal Man or whatever. And I was like, I feel that. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Not because obviously a girlfriend of mine's ever went through a portal, but because like that feeling of seeing somebody you love just instantly just
disappear.
It disappeared in a matter of less than a second. It's like, yo, what the fuck happened? Like you know what I mean? Like you don't know what to do, and you feel like you have all this power to try to change it, but you can't. You can't do shit. And then at the same time, I say Batman versus Superman, Batman because I know all that, but at some degree, I understand that I need to beat the shit out of people, or metaphorically beat the shit out of something to move forward.
Right.
Like there's no way. Like I'm very realistic. There's no way that you can go through life pretending like everything is gonna have a good outcome, everything's fine. We can all just take a break and relax because that's never gonna happen until we get technology to the point that technology is gonna take care of us. And even then, the people who are fixing technology are gonna bitch about the fact that the people who aren't fixing gets to live free and comfortable. You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be someone somewhere that has an issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'll think about that a little more.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm surprised I didn't hear a little bit of Magneto somewhere in there too.
The reason I wouldn't be like Magneto is Magneto's too extreme. I'm extreme when I'm pissed off, but only when I'm pissed off. You know what I mean? Like you piss me off, blah. But I'm not gonna be like actively like thinking when I'm on my own. Like, how can I find a way to
do away with humanity?
I don't think about shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd definitely say Wolverine. I think for me, in terms of because aside from the military background, but I do think it's more of like you just go about life, living your life however you want to live it. But at some point in time, when you know, like you have to do things you got to do. It's not you have to enjoy doing it, but you know you're like, all right, if I gotta do this, fine, I'll do it. Like, it's whatever.
I appreciate that.
So I can say that. A little bit of Deadpool too, because when we get wacky and stuff like that, it's there. So I'd say those two, at least for me, one of them comes to mind. But the '90s version of Peter Parker, that was it. Daniel Barnes voiced as that Spider-Man in that '90s cartoon.
But see, even Spider-Man even does a crossover with Wolverine on both sides of the series, whether it's X-Men or Spider-Man, and both of them have opposite personalities, but they both still go about everything the same way. They both mentally, like, Peter Parker's like fuck, I don't want to hurt you because, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to still kick your ass. And Wolverine's like, fuck it. I'm a good guy. I'm going to kick your ass. You know what I mean? They both come together and they work perfectly because of that.
Right.
And, yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Alright, so now, what's the other question? Okay. If you had a choice, what superpower would you want and why?
Superpower? I've dealt many of times with this. And if I was to say any one superpower, it would have to be... It would essentially have to be kind of a tie between... Alright, I'm gonna back up on that question.
Okay.
Superpower as in anything is everything is limitless.
Yeah.
Or like realistic superpower as to like what could possibly be possible.
Yeah.
Which one?
Both.
If it was like possible as in like super speed, because that, you know, that's physical. You know what I mean?
Right.
Super speed, or if you had like wings or something, anything like that, I would say probably impenetrable, like would be my go-to, because it's like kind of like
Luke Cage or Colossus.
Think of Luke Cage, like nothing can really hurt him. You know what I mean? Or even Colossus, like metal.
Right.
But I mean, like, just think of Juggernaut. I would love to just walk around with nothing being able to like stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like even Juggernaut when he's not in like his rage mode, whenever he's depicted, he's just kind of like doing what he wants and nothing bothers him. He's kind of very carefree until somebody